After using that's seven Instant Pots over the last 8 years, I've learned something important. There is no single Instant Pot that will fit everyone. But here's the good news. Once you know what actually matters for your cooking style and the way you live, that choice becomes way easier. So today I'm going to walk you through some key areas and questions that will help you clear up that confusion and confidently choose your next Instant Pot so you can get back to what really matters, which is your life and cooking up some lovely food with a lot less stress. And if we've not met before, I'm Susan from Cooking and Calm, and I've been using Instant Pots since 2016. And here's some of my current ones. An Instant Pot, who I'm not affiliated with in any way, by the way, I buy all of these with my own money. They keep giving out new models. There's more and more models coming out all of the time. Which Instant Pot model should I buy is the most common question I get on the channel from all of you. And you know, I always try my best to answer in the comments if I can, but I think the best person to answer which model should I get is you, and maybe you just need a little bit of help in thinking about why you would choose one model over another. So firstly, size matters when it comes to Instant Pots, right? These are two of the core sizes, so the only sizes I've had in my Instant Pot journey. We've got the 8 quart, 7.6 litre I think, and we've got all of these three are the 6 quart, 5.7 litres I think. And I think that for most people a really good starting point is to go with one of these 5.7 litre 6 quart Instant Pots. So why would you not go for a smaller one? Maybe if you're cooking for 1 or 2. Well, I'm cooking for 2 here, but the thing is that I can cook a small amount of food in a 6 quart Instant Pot, but I can't cook a large amount of food in a 3 quart, right? So there are lots of ways of cooking small portions in these bigger pots, but that does leave you the flexibility to still do bigger dishes, batch cooking, getting ahead of yourself and getting stuff in the freezer or the fridge for the rest of the week. This size has plenty of room for cooking 4 to 6 portions at a time, so you only need to go up to the big size if you've got a very large family, or you often cook very big joints of meat and so you need that extra space in there, or maybe you grow loads of food at home and you're doing masses of processing of vegetables and making tomato sauces when it gets to the end of the season, or you buy in bulk and you cook up really loads of batch cooked food, batch cooked bolognese and curries like I do, and you need that extra space. But remember, whatever size you're going for, do some measuring up and check if it's in your kitchen. And if you're going for one of these, which is an air fryer model, you've not only got the air fryer lid, you've also got a pressure cooking lid, so you will need extra space for your lid. And then in terms of size as well, remember that the bigger you go, the heavier these models are. So if you have any limitations around lifting things about and you don't have a permanent counter space, I always recommend to people, if it's possible, try and go see one in a real world store so that you can get a sense of just how big these are. This is huge and really quite heavy with that air fryer lid. So think about size and weight before you get into all that clever techie stuff. Get back to basics and think about your budget. It's easy to get carried away. I'm making this video around the holidays and the sale time. We all get carried away. Oh, it's such a bargain, but it's only a bargain if you use it and it suits you. Once you're getting into some of these pro models, you're really getting into much bigger money. So my advice is, unless you already know you're an Instant Pot user and you know you're going to use it every day, start more basic, see if it suits you. You can always upgrade later, and having a spare Instant Pot is always a good thing. So in terms of features, all of the models will pressure cook. That is the magic. All of the models have lots of safety features. They're much easier to use than manual pressure cookers, and I think they're a lot more fun too. And premium features can be nice, but they're not essential for great cooking. And the Instant Pots can all do all kinds of things that can make your cooking life easier and a bit more fun as well. So now let's get into these 4 questions that will help you choose your perfect Instant Pot. Question 1 can simplify everything, and it's a deal breaker question. And the question is, are you ready to start pressure cooking? So here's the truth about Instant Pots. Their superpower is pressure cooking. So yes, they are multi-cookers, and yes, they can do lots of different things, but it's pressure cooking that will actually change your cooking game when you buy an Instant Pot. Now let me tell you why. You can set and forget soups, stews and all kinds of dishes. Let the Instant Pot do the cooking. The pressure cooking brings loads of flavour into your food. So for me, they taste so much better than slow cooking. And little tip, most slow cooking recipes can be converted really easy into pressure cooking recipes. They're much faster, they'll taste better, and they'll barely use any energy at all. You can make creamy risottos in the pressure cooker, no stirring. The lid is on, it does everything for you, and you get a wonderful risotto waiting for you. You can make one-pot dishes like chicken and potatoes, all done, barely any washing up. A superb use of the pressure cooker, especially for those cuts of meat and poultry that normally take a very long time. The pressure cooker can cook them really quickly. They fall off the bone, super moist, amazing food. You can make dried beans and chickpeas even when you've forgotten to soak. And my personal favourite is what's called pot-in-pot cooking. So you can pressure cook a meal, say a curry, in the bottom of the pressure cooker, and you can cook your rice on top in a separate bowl at the same time. It's really amazing. But here's a really important point. If you're watching this and you're thinking to yourself, well, yeah, but I'm actually going to use the Instant Pot as a slow cooker because that's my thing. I'm not interested in learning pressure cooking. Stop right here. Save your money and look instead at a regular slow cooker or another appliance, because the real magic of Instant Pot is when you embrace pressure cooking. So see it as a pressure cooker with extras, and if that's not for you, no need to worry yourself anymore with Instant Pots. There will be something else that suits you better. Question number 2, and this is a really quick win for some of you. The question is, do you need pressure canning? If you do, there is only one model where you can get the pressure canning. So you can forget all the other things I'm talking about. You don't need to worry about any of it, because if you want pressure canning, the model that you will want to buy is the Instant Pot Pro Plus. And that's a model that looks a little bit like this one in this country. And in America, it's a more silvery colour. But wait, before you click away, just be careful with pressure canning. Make sure that you read all of the Instant Pot information and you read the food safety guidelines for your country, because there are risks to pressure canning. And for everyone else who's still with me, let's move on to one of the questions I'm asked most about Instant Pots. So question number 3, do I really need air frying power in my Instant Pot? And this is where things get a little bit interesting. So the air frying models of Instant Pot are very popular, but they're also quite expensive. So it's really important to have a think about whether this is really justified for you. So the air fryer models like this one are fantastic for combination cooking, but they do take up more storage space, they're heavier, and they cost a lot more than the basic models. So you can get bargains in the sales sometimes. An Instant Pot air fryer model might really suit you if you like cooking things like whole chicken, where you might pressure cook the chicken. Takes a really short amount of time, the meat is moist, falling off the bone, but you want some of that crispy skin at the end. And so you'll pop on the air fryer lid at the end to brown off a chicken. Also brilliant for browning off cheesy topped casseroles, pasta, where you want to get that bit of browning on the top at the end. Also good if you want to experiment with dehydrating. So the crisp models, the Duo Crisp and the Pro Crisp, I'm not mentioning the Ultimate Lid one yet, it's coming. But these models can give you an experience of doing small batch dehydrating. They're not as good as a full dehydrator. It's only a small amount can go in this size air fryer, but it's a great way of experimenting with dehydrating. And I've got a standalone dehydrator when I'm processing a lot of food, but I still often use my Pro Crisp to dehydrate a batch of strawberries. That's one of my favourite things to dehydrate. And this is perfectly big enough to do a kind of punnet, normal punnet of strawberries. So that's a good use of the Instant Pot with the air fryer lid. So my advice to those of you that already have an air fryer, or if you love air frying and that's your primary thing, maybe you don't need one of these expensive, large, heavy models. Maybe you'd be most happy with a more standard Instant Pot. And then if you want to brown something off at the end, you can pop that into your air fryer drawer and give it a quick crisp. And I've got a video showing how I do this with a shoulder of lamb, so part cooking it in the pressure cooker, super quick, super tender, but I want those crispy bits on top, so in it goes with a separate air fryer, all sorted. So having heard all of that, if you're someone who does want to have the combined function of air fryer and Instant Pot in one, here are your options. The first one is the Instant Pot Duo Crisp. Now, I've donated my Duo Crisp, but it lasted me many years. I had such fun with it. It's reliable, it's a workhorse. When another of my Instant Pots failed, I was straight back to the Duo Crisp. Absolutely brilliant machine, and you can often pick up a bargain. It's been around for years, lots of people love them, tried and tested. It's great value for money, especially in the sales. It's got simple, intuitive controls. It includes all the essential functions, including the dehydrate, including things like sous vide. So it's a great device, and I'm really happy to recommend it. The other choice is this one here. This is the Pro Crisp. It's very, very similar. It cooks hotter in terms of air frying. It cooks hotter in terms of searing. It has an upgraded inner pot, and it has these handles, which if you have any issues with your hands and lifting, that means that you'll be a lot happier with a handle version. The Instant Pot Pro Crisp also has adjustable saute function, so it's a bit more like using a hob. So really the answer's in the name. But this is more of a pro machine, and it's got a price to match. So this is much more expensive. I think it's for people like me who are just using Instant Pots. I barely turn on the hob or the oven these days. Then a third option available to you is the Instant Pot Duo Crisp with the ultimate lid. I'm not recommending it here. If you want to learn more about why I don't recommend it, I'll put the video that I made about it in the description below, and we'll say no more because that is a bad memory. So for me, if you're going for air fryer, your two choices, Instant Pot Duo Crisp or Instant Pot Pro Crisp. I think in the US and some other countries you may also be able to get standalone lids to go on Instant Pots. I haven't had any experience of them here, and we don't have them in the UK, so I won't cover that. But if you know about them and you'd recommend them or warn against, get into the comments and let us all know. So my advice for most people in this area is to start with the Duo Crisp. It's a fantastic machine, it's nice and simple to use, and unless you need some of the extra features I've mentioned on the Pro, why spend the extra money? And if you're finding any of this information helpful and have the time, I'd love it if you could give a thumbs up, like on the video below, or drop a comment. It really does help me when you do that, and it signals to YouTube that I'm trying to be a helpful human. Okay, so now you know whether you need to focus in on the crisp models or whether you're staying with me, and now we're going to look at those amazing Instant Pot core models. So let's break it down into what really matters when you're trying to choose which model of the Instant Pot will suit you. So the number one thing that might help you decide is thinking about the steam release mechanism. This is a big issue for people, especially new Instant Pot users, even experienced cooks who haven't used pressure cooking. So even though people like me are very confident in using steam release, the fact is steam is very hot, it can burn, and it is scary. So one of the ways you can narrow down which of the Instant Pot models to buy is to take a look at the lids and how the steam is released. So it's quite variable how you release the steam on the different Instant Pot models. This Whisper Quiet model I'm testing, for instance, the steam will come out on this end of the lid, but the place where you let the steam out is on this end of the lid. There's a button. So your hand is nowhere near the kind of steam release mechanism. So if this is resonating a bit with you, and that's one of the fears about moving to Instant Pot, I would really listen to that. It's not irrational. You will get used to it once you get going, but to make it as simple as possible to start using this amazing device, why not have a look at the lids and see which one makes you feel most comfortable? And from what I can see, the newer models have more separation from that steam release. And it's only some of the older models, like my first Duo, where you're actually steam releasing where the steam comes out here. So we're on YouTube, right? You will be able to see what the steam release mechanism is on the different models. Go to the Instant Pot site, have a good look, and let that be one of the things that helps you choose which model to get, because they're not that different at their core, and that is one of the key differences that might mean you actually use it, which is more important than anything, isn't it? And then after that, what you've got in this kind of complicated, lots of models, Instant Pot lineup is really you've got the more standard entry-level Instant Pots, and then you've got the Pro versions, very similar to the air fryer models in that way. The basic models like the Duo Plus, the Duo Plus Whisper Quiet, perfect for everyday cooking, simple controls, good value for money. And the other set of models are the Pro versions. This one here is the Instant Pot Pro, and the big differences, we've got fancier displays, hotter cooking, and we've got that inner pot with the silicone handles, oven safe, hob safe, same as before, and it has the adjustable saute. And these Pro models cook a little bit faster on the pressure cooking, a little bit hotter on the searing. This is a great model, by the way. And this model here isn't available in the UK as far as I can see anymore, but there is the Instant Pot Pro Plus, which is very similar. It's the one that does the canning, and it also has Wi-Fi. Why Wi-Fi? I don't know. I don't get it. It doesn't suit me. I love my tech, but I don't want to be faffing about with my phone in the kitchen. So the other thing to look at when you're considering these base models is what kind of display is going on. So something like the Whisper Quiet, it has a very good digital display. It's easy to see. It's on an angle sticking out. It tells me when I can open the lid. So again, if you're new to Instant Pot, a little bit nervous, again, it's a little bit of reassurance. I can see, it will tell me preheat, it will tell me cooking, and it will tell me when it's ready to open the lid. So the Instant Pot Duo Plus with the Whisper Quiet is on the top end of those entry-level models. Maybe you'd call it mid-range. As you go down the range, you may see less on the screen. It still is automatic. It won't let you open the lid unless it's safe to do so. So have a look for that feature. What does the display look like? What do the buttons look like? And do they make sense to you? So some models, they have text on the buttons. One of the newer models, I can't remember its name, but I notice it's mainly got icons, and that might suit you if you're very visual. If you're not and you'll forget what the buttons are, that one could be ruled out on that alone. Now, there's one thing I haven't mentioned at all, and I suspect it's probably one of the things that you've been looking at, and that is the amount of presets and stuff that are available on the different models. And my message to you is this: don't get too caught up in how many presets each model has. So all presets are just pre-programmed cooking times. They're not magic, they're not special, and they're nothing you can't replicate by just pressing or turning the dials yourself and setting things. And in fact, it's much better actually to set the timings yourself, because the presets don't know anything about your personal preferences. They don't know anything about the food you're cooking. So when it says chicken and you click chicken, how do you know it's right? We don't. So we still have to experiment no matter how many fancy buttons. So let me try and explain that better with an example. So here in the UK, I use organic eggs and I keep them at room temperature. From what I understand, it's much more common in the US to always keep eggs in the fridge. How does the Instant Pot know how long to cook those eggs? Because that cold egg is going to take longer to cook than my room temperature egg. It doesn't know. So when we click egg, it's just taking a punt basically. So one of the things you might not know if you've not had an Instant Pot is that if I take that egg setting and Instant Pot says, I don't know what, say 7 minutes, and I do mine for 3 minutes, the Instant Pot will actually remember on that setting for next time because I changed it. So don't get too bogged down with presets. Some of the models allow you to customize and they've got lots and lots of presets. That might be good for you. Others have only got a few presets, but again, they do remember your last setting. So I'd say don't get bamboozled by all these extra settings and presets. Don't feel you have to pay extra to get all of that. It's not going to take away that learning curve that you have when you begin to use the Instant Pot, but you will very quickly find how your Instant Pot works and how to get the food exactly right for you. and now you're a proper cook, and that feels good rather than just pressing a button. So when you're looking to decide which of the multi-cooker models are going to suit you, think about some of these big issues. And now, before we get into some more buying tips, here's some extra features to keep in mind. The first one is, if you're interested in making yogurt, many of the Instant Pots have a yogurt function that makes it a little bit easier. But if you buy an air fryer model and it doesn't have a yogurt function, you can still make yogurt in it. You just put in the temperatures, and I've got a video showing how to do that. So don't be worried, as long as you've got a sous vide function, you can still make amazing yogurt in your Instant Pot. Is steaming delicate foods, fish, vegetables important to you? Some Instant Pots steam like a traditional steamer, as you would expect. It's not under pressure and you can use it for delicate foods. Other Instant Pots, when it says steam, it's actually steaming under pressure. So it's pressure cooking at the end of the day. And so the timing's going to be completely different and it may not be suitable. And then sometimes, even though the manual says it steams not under pressure, so like an ordinary steamer, I've found that some of them, they still come to pressure, the valve seals, and you end up faffing about trying to sort it out. So I'd say at least some of the models I've had are not great as steamers. So you may want to check out the particular model you're choosing if it's important to you, and get a look in YouTube comments or on the Facebook groups for Instant Pot users to see if it works well before you choose, because it's definitely variable. And I know many new users of Instant Pot are really keen to use the Instant Pot as a replacement for their current crock pot or slow cooker. So the Instant Pot is not as good at slow cooking as a dedicated slow cooker. Some models are better than others. Those lovely people at America's Test Kitchen did a video on the Duo Evo Plus and said that was a good slow cooker. I'll link that video in the description. So if you're planning to use the Instant Pot for slow cooking, check that people are saying that the particular model you're choosing is pretty good at slow cooking, and then don't throw away your crock pot just yet. Wait till you've got your Instant Pot going, and know that most slow cooking recipes can be converted to pressure cooking so easily. They take less time to cook, they're less watery, and honestly I think the flavour is 10 times better, but you might disagree. So I'll link the video I made about how to adapt slow cooking so it works better in the Instant Pot. So some final buying tips. So when you're looking at models, go to your Instant Pot official site for you and see what it's like to be able to pick up the accessories you might need. I always have a spare in the pot, stainless steel, because I use mine so much, and everyone will need the spare rubber seal that goes around the lid. They wear out over time, and once they get slack or too brittle, that can affect your pressure cooker coming to pressure, so you don't want that to happen. And then finally, one of the things about buying an Instant Pot is when you open the box, there's very little in terms of instructions, and that is really annoying. But there are significant resources online that you can look at this stage as you're trying to work out which Instant Pot to buy. So if you go to your Instant Pot official site for your country, you should be able to download the full user manual for whichever Instant Pot you end up shortlisting, and that will give you a chance to read through, oh, is the steam function under pressure? Oh, does this one have a yogurt button, and how does it work? And you can really have a good look at how each model works before you buy it. And you can also usually find a whole load of downloadable PDF recipe books there too, so pick one of those up while you're there. So the best Instant Pot isn't always the latest and greatest. The best Instant Pot for you is the one that will help you cook, save time, and give you some space for some rest and relaxation while the Instant Pot does a lot of the work. And now you're going to be able to choose which Instant Pot to buy. You need to know what not to do when you start cooking with an Instant Pot. So to avoid some of the very messy mistakes I and others have made, take a look at this video here, and I'll see you over there.